Hello, we are continuing with our instruction over the videos. I hope you're excited. I sure am. Now we will be solving and graphing inequalities. So let us go over the notes and do some examples. Use inverse operations. And to solve inequalities. So you see that we are starting exactly the same way like we were when we were solving equations. And you will see there are many similarities. To graph. First, solve the inequality using, again, inverse operations. Second, make sure the variable is on the left hand side. We will be able eventually to graph even when we see variable on the right hand side, but it's a little bit less confusing if the variable is on the left. Now, if we have one of these two symbols, less than or equal to or greater than equal to, we will put closed circle or filled circle representing the endpoint. If we have less than or greater than, we will put an open circle, this symbol, at the number. Number 4, if greater or equal to, we will be drawing an arrow to the right, and you know that because so this is how it's gonna look. And again, we are starting with a circle. It's gonna be either empty or open or closed, one or the other. I will show you both just so that you know this is how it's gonna look like, one or the other. If the symbol says less than or equal to, you will be drawing the arrow to the left. So this is how it's gonna look. If it's less than, we will have empty circle and an arrow. If it's less than or equal to, we will have a closed circle and arrow to the left. And I will put the symbols there just so that it's clear. So this is greater or equal to. This one represents less, and this is less than or equal to. And now this is basically the only big difference between solving equations and inequalities, right here. Reverse the inequality symbol if you multiply or divide by a negative number. This is it. This is really important. I will put this is really important. I will put exclamation mark. You can highlight it. Remember, don't get confused. Don't think that you always flip the sign if you see negative, if you are subtracting. No. But if you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, we do have to do this. Okay, ready to move on? Yes. And now we have examples. We can start graphing. The first one is pretty easy and straightforward. It tells us as x is greater or equal to 4. So this is our point 4. Because for being part of the solution, the symbol is greater or equal to. What circle are we using again? Is it open or closed? I hope you said closed, and if you did, you were right. And we are looking for x's that are greater or equal to, so we will be showing or drawing the arrow to the right. Good, we are done. Problem B. minus 3 is greater than y. We said that we want to set the inequality so that the variable is on the left-hand side. So basically here we have to flip the whole thing. And if we are flipping, please remember, you have to flip the sign. So you flipped this to the other side. 3 is on the other side, and the point, the little point was pointing towards the y. It has to be pointing towards y again. So this is how we rewrite this inequality, and now it should be easy. Y is less than minus 3. It doesn't say minus 3, but we know it's between minus 2 and minus 4. It doesn't say equal to, so what kind of circle is it going to be? Yes, open circle. Number negative 3 is not part of the answer. It's going to be empty circle or open circle, and we are going to be pointing to the left because we are looking for y that is less than minus 3. Good. Next, minus v is less than 8. What do we need to change here? We need to know what is v less than or greater than. How do we do that? We need to multiply, and I will write it in letters. We have to do times minus 1. And I hope you remember our important exclamation point statement from the previous slide. What are we doing when we're multiplying by negative number? And I hope you said it. We will have to flip the sign. So instead of less than, it will be, let me do it red, it's going to be greater than. So minus v is now v, less is now more than, and 8, if you multiply it by negative 1, is negative 8. So now we are looking for v that is greater than negative 8. Negative 8 is somewhere here. Because it doesn't say equal to, it's going to be open circle, and we are looking for greater, so the arrow is going to be going to the right. Good work. I will solve following 2 problems, and then you will be doing the problem C, so please pay attention. And if you feel ready, you can actually pause, try to solve them by yourself, and then just double check that you did it correctly. This problem says q over 3 is less than or equal to minus 2. We said we will be using inverse operation. This is a division, right? This is a division. What is the inverse operation to division? It's multiplication. So all we will be doing is times 3. What do we get? Q over 3 times 3 is Q. We will keep the symbol the same, and then minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. Now, minus 6 is right here. The symbol says it's less than or equal to, and that tells me that the circle is going to be closed. And then we will be looking for Q that is less than or equal to. So we will be pointing the arrow to the left. Problem B, we have 3 is less than m minus 5. So first we have to combine the numbers. So let's add 5 so that we have the variable on one side and all the numbers on the other. Again, we are using basically inverse operation. Inverse to subtracting 5 is adding 5. On the left-hand side, we get 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. We copy the same symbol, and then m. The 5s cancel each other out. Now, we want to have the variable on the left-hand side so that it's easier to see how to graph it. We are flipping the sides. So just remember, you are flipping the whole thing. So you have to make sure that the symbol gets flipped. In other words, the pointed thing is pointing towards 8. It will have to be pointing towards 8 even in the next line. So m is greater than 8. 8 is right here. It's not part of the solution. It doesn't say equal to. And now we will be looking for greater than 8. So we will be showing arrow to the right. Again, you will need to solve problem C. We will be talking about it later. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, so let's just complete problem A together and maybe A and B, both of them, and you will be done. Minus 3x plus 1 is less than or equal to 22. And I hope you already know, looking at it, that you will be doing filled or closed circle because of this symbol. What we need to do is combine like terms. So we want to subtract 1. This is, again, inverse operation to addition is subtraction. So on the left-hand side, we have minus 3x. On the right-hand side, we have less than or equal to 22 minus 1 is 21. Now, we have minus 3 times x. I hope you remember that minus 3x is basically times x. What is inverse operation to multiplication? We will be dividing by what? Negative 3. Okay, and then another big, huge exclamation point. What do we remember? What do we need to do if we are dividing by negative number? I hope you know that. So, negative 3 over negative 3 is 1. So we only have x on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we have 21 divided by minus 3. And I hope you know that that's minus 7. What happens with the sign? We have to flip it. So it's going to be, instead of less than or equal to, it's going to be greater or equal to. Now we are ready to graph this. Let's look for minus 7. It's right here between minus 7, minus 6, and minus 8. The symbol says that it's going to be a filled or closed circle, and we will be looking for values of x that are greater than that. So we are pointing to the right. And problem B, last one. Again, we will be combining the x expressions and those without x. So let's subtract 3x first. Remember, you have to do it on both sides. So on the left-hand side, we have minus 4x plus 1. Remember, we didn't cancel that yet. Here, we get rid of the x expressions, and we have 21. Now, we need to do inverse operation to addition, right? We are adding 1, so we need to subtract 1. And we get negative 4x is less than 20. And I want to remind you, we are subtracting 1, but that's not multiplication or division, so we keep the symbol the same. Now, I will write it in words again. Divide. We are multiplying by negative 4, so inverse is divide. Divide by negative 4. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? We need to flip. Minus 4x divided by minus 4 is only x. On the right-hand side, 20 divided by minus 4 is minus 5. And the symbol has to be flipped. So instead of less than, we will get is greater than. And now it should be easy to graph. Let me pick another color so that it doesn't get confused with the writing. So the border point is minus 5. We do not have equal to, we have only greater than, so the circle is open. And we are looking for values that are greater than that number, so we'll be pointing to the right. Congratulations, guys, you had done great, and we will be solving some fun problems in the class. Thank you. See you in class.